And the Oscar goes to The Elephant Whisperers, Kartiki Gonzalez and Guneet Monga.
I'm going to LA. I want to start there and I want to go backwards. How was that period? Because I know that before you went, we spoke and you were like, it's going there, we're putting as much effort into making sure that we campaign right, we get this.
Yeah.
And then you won. How was that day like?
Very interesting question. I think I've never spoken about it. How was that day like? It was intense. It was magical, intense, beautiful, goosebumps. बहुत सारे predictions थे पहले. हमने बहुत मेहनत की थी. Putting ourselves out there in a new territory, new sets of journalists, new sets of media, new sets of, putting your work out there, putting your resume out there from scratch, navigating into new publications. But we also work with Netflix. So a lot of heavy lifting, of course, is done by our distributor there. But yes, pushing a short documentary is in the Oscar time is definitely challenging because there is a lot being pushed out and everybody wants to speak to the same few individuals. And in our category, there was a Malala film. Of course, that had a huge press this year. But for us, with Kartiki and me, they're trying to navigate this. It was intense and also very interesting. But for me, I was happy to be there with my husband, who had married 3 months before. We actually got married on 12th of December and the Oscars was 12th of March. So it started beautifully. It started in a calm way. And then it started building up like, holy shit, this is happening. This is really happening. And then we were sitting on the ground floor. पहले तो वही मेरे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा सपना था, to sit on the ground floor. Because 2010 में I was a producer on a short film that was nominated called Kavi. And बहुत मुश्किल था मेरे लिए अमेरिका जाना और मैंने बहुत बात की है about that trip. Writing, running in fog is like basically the title of my book, if I ever write. That you were just constantly running in fog for magic to happen. Matlab, divine will is business plan. So it is, you're constantly like, kuch to itna intention, itna shiddat ki kuch to acha hoga.
Yeah.
But 2004 again, we were sitting on the 5th floor and बहुत मुश्किल था मेरे लिए वहाँ जाना. वहाँ जाकर 5th floor पर बैठना सब कुछ इतना दिखता है वहाँ से. Stage, and it's so steep, that Dolby Theatre.
And लोगों को normally when you see it on TV, लोगों को सिर्फ ground floor दिखता है. You're not seeing the layers on top.
You're not seeing the layers. तो पहले मतलब एक दिन वहाँ नीचे बैठूंगी. And then again in 2019, period end of sentence happened that I was an executive producer on. We were on the 5th floor. And I was like, यार नीचे तो बैठना है ना, भाई नीचे से ground level पे देखना है ना कि कैसा दिखता है ये ceremony. And when period end of sentence 1, तब वो एक ambition भी आया था कि एक बार stage पे भी जाना है. बहुत सालों तक तो सिर्फ ground floor पर बैठने का ambition था कि वहाँ कोडाक थिएटर में ground floor से हम Oscars देखेंगे. And of course I became a part of the academy and this time हमारा ground floor में हम लोग बैठे हुए थे. But the minute your हर award के बीच में break होता है and the minute your section comes, they take you and they bring you closer to they take the whole category. So 5 films, 2 nominees, 2 plus 1 each. So they take the whole 5 entities with 4 people each to a row 3, row 2, and they clear that out in the breaks, and then they take those nominees and they put there because the next is the next bunch of few films that are coming, and they've blocked it out like that on 2 sides of the. So it was very interesting. हम लोग वहाँ गए and we were given our places to sit and then the announcement happened, and because this plays in extreme high speed in my head, he said the and the winner is the, and there was another film with the, and we were like, oh my God, I have seen my whole life in that split second. I can't tell you the intensity of that. And then when they said the Elephant Whisperers, and I remember Kartiki leaning onto me to give me a hug, I was like, we only have 40 seconds, go up, run, run. So, I missed that hug, but I was like, just go. And
Producer wali baat na.
producer, always like organizing. But then it was, and we were on the stage, and I could see people looking at me, and I could see the whole. And when you see it from that side, that is music. Almost like मुझे एक point के बाद कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा. It was like मुझे था कि I of course had prepared something to say, and I was like, okay, I have to say it, but I also just wanted to be in that moment. And I was just, and I was also somewhere communicating to my parents up there. I'm the only child, and just the dream that they had seen for me, the hopes that they have had. Somewhere I was just like, can you believe this? I wish you were here. So I had this divine conversation going on, and then I had a conversation going on with the first, second row of audience. I could see Spielberg there, I could see Eva DuVernay, Riz Ahmed. I worked with Riz, and I could just see them cheering for me, and me reacting to them. All this played out in high speed. मुझे कुछ सुनाई नहीं दे रहा कार्तिकी क्या बोल रही है. बस मुझे पता है कि इसके बाद अच्छा तो मैं जाऊंगी बोलूंगी, बट ये जो पीछे चल रहा था, जो मैं पीछे खड़े होके कर रही हूँ, थोड़ी कॉन्वर्सेशन ऊपर, थोड़ी कॉन्वर्सेशन नीचे, बाकी स्माइल पेस्टेड, लाइक इट वाज लाइक वॉकिंग ऑन क्लाउड्स, फुल स्लो मोशन. And then when I just came up on that, I tried to go, and the music played out, and I was like, oh, ये तो मैंने देखा हुआ है पहले TV पर, that that mic is cut off. And I have decided to walk out of the stage, but I was like, nahin, this is my moment. I have walked back, and I have screamed to the ground floor.
I remember seeing that.
To the ground floor, saying, this is India's first ever Oscar for any India production. Thank you, so just. And I've seen the ground floor chair, the lot that could hear it. Of course, my voice could not go to the above floors, but I was like, ठीक है, इसके बाद चले जाएंगे. एक ही मौका है. And then I was like, ठीक है, maybe I'll come back here to say something. But at that moment, I think some sort of anxiety hit, and my heart rate was just blowing up, which has never happened before to me. But there was so much packed. There was years of work and history of Indian cinema. I just think everything was packed, holding that 3.6 kgs of an award. It was beautiful. And then when I walked up, and then there was this, there was a mic right behind backstage. There was a mic. सब जितना याद था सब बोल दिया, जितना याद था. And I was panting as if I've just ran like 100 meters 5 times, which I can't physically, but it just seemed like that. And then full night, it was just, and it's beautiful. The backstage walk is like around an hour long of walk, where they take you into many rooms. They have created many different spaces. Some are photography, some are video interviews, some are audio interviews, some are press, global press, LA, like those magazines, fashion magazines. They have A-list photographers. So there are many experiences that are there backstage. You also see hundreds of people doing the live programming of it. And there's a whole pathway. But there's like all the backstage behind, and it still gives me goosebumps. And then like बहुत सारे ऐसे दरवाजे खुल रहे थे. Every corner there was like a champagne celebrating us, and everybody had that walk. Every winner had that walk behind stage. So every corner there was like, congratulations guys, sign here, do this, class of 2023. All of that, step by step. And then one ऐसी दरवाजे खुल रहे थे, and then one दरवाजा opened, and I was like, whoa. It felt like I'm like in some headquarters, जैसे पिक्चरों में देखते हो, massive press conference with like at least 500, 600 people, and then so many more people online, and then they were on, and that was like a press conference. And it was like a small door that opened to that, like at least 600 people standing. You go up on the stage, and when the questions are asked, only then I realized that there were thousands of people online. So there was online media, and there were just people typing in different languages, wearing headphones. And that was like our moment in our press conference where we spoke, and then we walked back, but my heart rate was still high. and I just didn't know how to even articulate it. And then we went into a celebration with Netflix, and it was beautiful. And they had a whole terrace of all the Netflix films and celebrating everybody. Then we first we went into the governor's ball, and that was in the same hall, and that's where they put the names on the trophies, and that is also beautiful. And all the winners and everybody's there. This is after the ceremony. Post that was the Netflix terrace garden party, and then Vanity Fair party. And by the time I reached home, reached the hotel room, I was telling Sunny that I just feel my heart rate is high, and we put up the watch to see, and it was just jumping from 120, 180. I was like, what is going on? Like it is still not resting. And then that landed me into the Beverly Hospital. So my Oscar night was at the hospital. First time in my life. And I remember going up to the hospital and doctor was like, kuch nahi hota, bade aate hain. It's
We're
a common.
used to this every year.
We're used to this. So I think it was an adrenaline rush and an adrenaline crash. And just, I think, years of dream. And it is so tough and so grateful for every entity, for every person who's been part of it going up till there. So, and making that beautiful film. So yeah, a bit of a long answer, but that day was magical.